Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Analysis and Tactics channel. Before we get on and dive deeper into the tactics in the next episodes, we should lay a solid base and take care of the basics first. To really appreciate seemingly complex football tactics, you may need to gain an understanding and simple interpretation of space. First, we will break this down into smaller chunks easy to take in. Every decision a player makes, from where to pass and to move, to when to attack, is shaped by the space around them. This means player positions and movements in positional play are not left to chance. They are deliberate, structured, and largely predetermined through an understanding and interpretation of space. In this video, we'll break down pitch geography step by step, looking at how the pitch is divided and what happens in each area. We'll also explore how players use space to build, progress, and finish attacks. Once you start seeing the pitch this way, you won't watch the game the same way again. The football pitch can be divided both vertically and horizontally, but we'll start with the horizontal structure. There are three key zones here. The build-up zone, where attacks begin. The progression zone, where teams combine to move the ball forward. And lastly, the finishing third, where attacks become chances and goals. Let's look at each of these in finer detail. The build-up zone, the first third of the pitch, where attacks usually begin, often from the goalkeeper. The objective here is simple: initiate play with control. Teams do this in two ways. First, by creating a numerical advantage. Second, by minimizing risk and prioritizing passing over dribbling, especially when playing out from the back. This one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. The key players here are the goalkeeper and defenders. Their use of space, their positioning, decisions, and support can be the difference between escaping pressure and losing possession. In the progression zone, which is the middle zone, the focus shifts to progressing play. This is where teams connect to play and look to break lines. This one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. Midfielders become the key players here, supported by defenders stepping in. Movement and supporting angles are critical to keep the ball moving forward. Players use combination play, quick passing, and or switch of play to find a way to progress. In other words, to play a safe ball into the next attacking zone. This one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. This one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. In the finishing zone, also known as the final third, which calls for creativity and imagination, everything changes. Space is tighter, time is limited, and decisions are made much quicker. Players also take more risk in here in comparison, as there is a reward of scoring or creating a chance to score, and a much lesser risk of conceding. This is where you normally see players taking opponents one-on-one. Here forwards and attacking midfielders take over. The focus is on creating and finishing chances. We then move away from the horizontal picture and enter the vertical one. The pitch is also divisible vertically into 5 channels, 2 wide areas, 2 half spaces, and the central space. While positioning and movement in football are naturally fluid, for the purpose of this video, we'll simplify things using a static 4-3-3 shape. Here, fullbacks and wingers hold the wide channels. Centre-backs and central midfielders, including the number 10, occupy the half spaces. While the goalkeeper, defensive midfielder, and the striker control the central lane. Each channel creates different angles, passing options, and different types of attack. The most talked about areas are the half spaces, which are difficult to defend and equally difficult to receive in, often enabling technically strong players to operate between the lines. When in the final third, from the half spaces, players can pass, run, dribble, or shoot with more options and a devastating impact than when they are in the wide or central areas. So far in this video, we have moved from a simplistic view of the football pitch as one big piece to seeing it in terms of channels and zones. If we put all this together, we get 15 basic spaces, which will be useful to understanding positioning on the field. While it is understandable that this is not the only way to dissect a football pitch, there are other valid approaches based on level of understanding, guiding principles, and different schools of thought. However, we have also used an equally valid method to explore the fundamentals of pitch geography in order to understand simple tactics and formations. If you put all this together, football becomes movement through space, from build-up through to progression into the finishing zone. And understanding space this way helps you see the purpose behind every movement and decision on the football pitch. Next in this series, we will look at how teams defend these spaces through a low, mid, and high block. Thanks for watching.